Hello my angels, welcome back to another video. My name is Ro and today I am starting off my Christmas Eve vlog, all of that. I'm hoping to read a lot over my break away in the Peak District. You cannot see me through these glasses. I'm hoping to read a lot when I'm away at the Peak District with George. There he is. Yeah, so it's gonna be a good time. I've spent all of the morning packing everything I want to take, including like all of my electronics. I'm gonna be going on lots of walks, hopefully, reading, hopefully, puzzles, journaling. A lot of stuff's gonna happen. We're gonna finalize all of the TBRPGathon stuff, finalize my Patreon January schedule. A lot's gonna happen, and it's gonna be a lot of fun, and I'm really excited. So yeah, I will see you when we get to the Peak District. Bye.
We're on the way.
We have about an hour to about 56 minutes till we get there. My fucking Google Maps took us through the tolls.
So we clicked no tolls specifically.
There were 3 routes, 1 had tolls and 2 did not have tolls.
So obviously we clicked no tolls and, you know, scam queen, as we say, it just decided to take us a tollway anyway. So
Yeah.
I don't even know how much we paid.
It's probably like 6 quid.
There's some roadworks going on now, so it's slower.
Oh, please. I just want to be in a cottage.
Not long. We're listening to A Christmas Carol.
Yeah, read by Hugh Grant.
It's good so far.
It's free on Audible Plus.
I can't get out of my head though the Muppets, like you said.
Yeah, they were on about, he hasn't even said the name Bob Cratchit yet, it's just, yeah, he's Clark.
Yeah. Because
Actually, can it?
when Marley was thinking, I'm just with Marley and Marley. Ooh, that's all I'm thinking of. To be fair though, the film does the dialogue quite faithful.
That girl in the car next to us just waved at me. I think she thought I was waving at him, but I was just doing the Marley chain thing.
Alright, well I guess we'll...
She looked very happy, so she didn't look like she was freaking out.
maybe you caught it. Maybe it caught it. But we're hitting traffic now, so...
Where the fuck even are we? Bitten on Trent is 11 miles away.
And we will update when we get there.
She's looking at me!
It's because we're filming, probably.
Oh, that's probably why she was waving.
Yeah.
I see. I thought she was waving because I did my... Oh my gosh, it's so bright. Hello! We are in the cottage. This is the kitchen. Cottage tour. This is a really nice kitchen. We realised that there's a washing machine and a dryer, so we could have brought our laundry instead of having to pay for it. There are some very precarious plates. I really don't feel comfortable with these plates. Oh my gosh, I'm so blown out right now. So coming in here where I look a little bit better, there's a little Christmas tree. And this is the living room. So there's like a little chair and there's like a little TV. And then when you go up here, which we haven't been up yet.
No, so I'm excited.
Oh God, I feel very,
Right.
I feel heavy on these stairs. But these lights are so cute. Oh my gosh, it looks so much bigger than in the pictures. There's a light here, I think. There we go.
Oh, so the other one must be for you. There we go.
Both.
Oh my lord.
So this is huge. It's a bed. I love slanted ceilings. So you should do your makeup.
Yeah, exactly.
And then this is bathroom. So little sink, little thing on Christmas jumpers, little toilet, and a jacuzzi bath, one that probably actually works. So that's very nice. Are they proper? Is that the only towel?
There's towels on the bed.
Oh, okay. Oh my fucking god. Yes, we've got the little fan. This is a better way to show you guys because I'm not front facing. But this is a lovely bed. It just looks so cute, and it looks even better than the pictures, so I'm really pleased. Spiral staircase. We're gonna have such a good time. I just want to relax. I don't want to have to think about anything. I just want to chill the fuck out. We were listening to, oh, this is a nice little rug as well, randomly. We were listening to A Christmas Carol on the way up on audio, as we told you. It's pretty good so far. Probably gonna listen to the rest of it at some point. I don't know if you want to listen to the rest of it, George. I might listen to it in the bath.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That'd be a good idea.
Carry on.
Yeah. Hopefully this vlog will be super chill, you know, super cozy. We can take you around with us and see what we do. And I'm also planning on getting so much reading done. I really want to read The Midnight in Everwood tonight, hopefully, after finishing Christmas Carol. And then as well, I do want to read the 3 Christmasaurus books, which I feel like won't take that long, to be honest. So I feel like that's achievable, personally. I do still have a couple of things left on my TBR. I have the Atlas 6, I have Take a Hint, Danny Brown, and I do have the 2 Towers as well, but I don't think I'm going to get to that before the end of the year, to be honest. I mean, I'm going to try probably next week. This is all a bad angle. I'm probably going to try next week, but I'm not holding my breath. I do also want to finish my audiobook of Ship of Magic, so we'll probably listen to that on the way back and annoy George, because he won't know who anyone is. It's not creepy at all. Anyway, we'll see you again soon. Hello. We've just finished watching Klaus, which is our Christmas Eve tradition. Tomorrow we watch Muppets Christmas Carol every year. It's our 3rd year of watching Klaus. And apparently Jordan didn't cry.
Yeah, I managed not to this time.
I cried about 6 to 8 times, I'd say, between that. And we were like cutting, and I was trying not to like breathe too heavily. But I was crying a lot.
Lol.
Like in quick succession as well. Like lots of different scenes. It's about 9:15 now, so I'm not sure what we want to do. I do have Midnight in Everwood, which I did want to start like on Christmas Eve because it's set on Christmas Eve.
Yeah. That's the ballerina one, isn't it?
Yeah. So that would be nice. Just thought I'd update you and say hi because we're having a really nice Christmas Eve. Quiet,
Chill.
cozy, chill. Oh my god, the Tesco Yule log, like Christmas proper Yule log that has like fresh cream and like fresh, like the chocolate on the outside. Oh, it's so good.
It was very nice.
Chef's kiss, as I would say.
And so far, the water here isn't dog shit.
It's because we're in the Peak District.
So
we brought our own tea bags and sugar because we were worried there wouldn't be any tea.
the amount of stuff we brought that we were worried they wouldn't have, like, I'm glad we didn't bring any like dishes or cutlery.
Oh, yeah, well, I knew they would be.
Yeah, I know.
It's self-catered, so everything's really cute. I still really like, there's just lights over there. Just get some of that for our house. Probably see you tomorrow on Christmas Day. Merry Christmas Eve.
Merry Christmas Eve.
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas!
We've just woken up. We've just put the chicken in the oven, which is exciting. We've never actually cooked
Christmas dinner.
A Christmas dinner for ourselves. Yeah, we've only ever been to my dad's.
Yeah,
cooking.
and we've already done it wrong by putting a chicken in the oven instead of a turkey.
Oh yeah, no one ever has turkey though.
I feel like people would have turkey.
No, most people have chicken. This
I
turkey
know.
sucks.
I always used to have I love turkey.
Turkey's dry and disgusting. So yeah, we have a load of already prepped vegetables because Tesco had the option and we couldn't be asked to bring everything like fresh, raw to a cottage in the Peak District.
After a couple of years, maybe when we're a bit more experienced with Christmas dinners, we'll do everything.
Yeah, like I know what I like and like from my dad and stuff, so it should be fine. We're not having any mash today because I didn't want to bring extra mash. They only had roast potatoes in the veg prep box, and we got some Bisto gravy. But yeah, we are currently cooking the chicken. We've set some timers for like when the veg is going in, and it's nice and it's exciting.
And now we're about to carry on with tradition.
Yes. We are watching. Oh, it's so slow. Any guesses what this is? Hey! Today we're watching Muppets Christmas Carol. We watch it every Christmas day. It's our tradition, so.
And this should take us up pretty much to exactly when the food is done by the time this finishes.
Hopefully. So that's gonna be fun. So yeah, see you later. Yeah. I win! Got a red hat. What do short elves put in their cakes?
I don't.
Elf freezing flour. And I have a sprout taster.
What?
Sprout taster. It's just a bit of cardboard.
Do you
Oh well. Hello. I have just finished reading Midnight in Everwood, which is the nice Waterstones edition. I was listening to it on audiobook. I didn't really feel like physically reading, so I started this last night on Christmas Eve. It's now Christmas Day, so we've been listening to it, Jordan vicariously, like most of it in the background of me doing stuff. So we have been doing a jigsaw each for about 4 hours today.
Don't show the progress on it.
No.
It's embarrassing how far we've gotten with the amount of time.
It's hard because the whole jigsaw is made up of little shapes of animals, so it's not really obvious like what goes together or where there's an edge or anything.
And they're genuinely tiny pieces. So if you try, like in a normal jigsaw, you can make a, oh, this is
an edge, yeah, or something.
That, but
I'll show you my progress. He doesn't want to show his. So this is about as much as I've got. You can see the thing there. I've got the face, bit of the face, and I've got the bottom bit, but the rest is yet to be found, yet to be put together because it's so hard. The pieces are so small. I can't even zoom in very much, but can you see how small the pieces are? They're so small. I won't show George because he's embarrassed. Whoop, whoop. So yeah, back to Midnight in Everwood. Listened at about 1.85 times speed, I think, so it went quite quickly. The 20% that I read last night I thought was pretty good. I thought it set it up really nicely. I liked where it was going and I liked the prose. I will say for this book, the prose is very pretty, if not like a little bit repetitive. Certain phrases and or words were used several times.
cleaved in two was used twice in like one chapter. Jordan noticed the word gossamer several times also being used, which I didn't notice because at that point I did kind of zone out because the pacing is the main thing that's wrong with this book. I felt like I didn't care about anything that was going on. I didn't care about any of the characters. As soon as she entered the kind of proper Nutcracker type setting and magic and like stuff like that, I didn't feel like there was any whimsy. I felt like any whimsy or magic that was in there was almost forced or like, what's the word, like fake. Because so like she's in like the sweets land. If you do know the story of the Nutcracker, you should, because I'm sure all of us fucking watched Barbie Nutcracker when we were younger. Like they go to the land of sweets and stuff. It just felt like all she was describing was just the different types of sweets. It was just, everything was made of sugar and this and that. And it was just very strange and not very whimsical. And it's not meant to be really whimsical, I guess. It's meant to be scary. It's meant to be that she can't escape and stuff. The pacing was very strange, where at first she was like excited to be there, obviously. And she was like, oh, I do want to dance. Like, all I want to do is dance. And the king is like, well, you'll dance whenever I say. And she's like, cool, I want to dance all the time, so it's fine. But then obviously at the end of like 1 week, she's tired as fuck. And then the guy is a dick to her. It very quickly devolved into like, oh no, this place is bad. I didn't feel like there was enough time spent there where it was all an illusion kind of thing. It just very quickly, the veil dropped and it was like, oh no, it's bad. It's like, okay. And then the rest of the, like, last 50% of the book is them plotting to leave. I didn't care about the other two girls. I don't even remember their names. I didn't care about the love interest. I just thought it was very rushed, very like 2D character work. I didn't feel for any of the characters. I didn't feel like any of them had any kind of distinct personality, except for one of the girls was a bit more direct and bitchier than the other one. And that's kind of all I remember. And one of them was a princess of a different country or something. Yeah, I don't know. And then when she got out and was the end, it was just kind of like, oh, this is the end now. And the guy who supposedly has all this magical power, she somehow like thwarts him, even though he's like clearly incredibly powerful and has magical powers. So I ended up giving it a 2. It's a 2-star. Pretty prose is no makeup for bad.
Pretty prose does not a good book make, is it?
No. I don't know. Like, what did you think? Because you listened to a lot of it. I listened to some of it on my own last night, but not like a lot of it.
To what you said about the gossamer.
It just reminds me of Nevermore, because you have like the gossamer line, which is like a...
Oh, right. But like, and I get it, because a lot of it was... She was doing a lot of description based on, you know, sweet food, and
yeah, it was like
just a lot of that, which was good. So there is only so much that you can do.
Yeah, she described a few things as buttery. She described a few things. One thing I did like was she described something about her thoughts pirouetting. And I thought that was good because obviously she's a ballerina. So like having that incorporated is good. I think she just ran out of, like, she should have picked up a thesaurus because she ran out of descriptive words. Or like come up with something similar but not the same, if that makes sense. I just feel really disappointed because like I feel like a lot of people have had a really good time with this. Maybe it was because it was over audio, but I thought the narrator was fine. She wasn't like anything special, but she was fine. Like she did the same accent for everyone. And they were all like Queen's English British, but it was set in Nottingham, which is in the north of England. So I was a bit like, that's not a Nottingham accent. They were posh, to be fair, they were rich. But then everyone was not posh or rich. So she did the same. She just did her own accent for all of the characters.
There was a point when you were listening to it and we were doing the jigsaw. I asked you to like pause it because I wanted to say something. And in my head, I was like, oh God, like, I don't think this is very good, like listening to it. So I was just like, oh, how are you finding it? And you were like, it's shit.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. Because I didn't think it was very good while listening to it, but obviously I don't want to just go something you might be really enjoying, just go, God, this is shit, isn't it?
To be fair, I hadn't even said anything about it up until this point. Like, we were just listening to it. I hadn't said anything. I could very well have been enjoying it and you wouldn't have known.
And I would have just have to keep that to myself, thinking it was shit.
But I was just like, yeah, it's not for... I literally, you quoted me, I just went, it's shit. It just is, like, it's just, I just don't think it's very well done. I think it's very rushed. The pacing is so off. The guy at the beginning, who is Drosselmeyer, who, that name is taken straight from the Nutcracker, but then she didn't take other names from the Nutcracker. Like, she changed Clara to Marietta, changed Fritz to Frederick. Like, I don't understand why she just kept Drosselmeyer, unless, like, in her head, because this is a retelling, obviously, maybe in her head or in her universe, Drosselmeyer goes around doing different things, and, like, the actual Nutcracker was something that happened, and then he did this as well. I don't know what goes on in her head. I don't think this was worth doing a Nutella. I don't think this was a worthy Nutcracker retelling. As I was writing my Goodreads review, which was just one line, I was like, oh, I didn't really like the plot, but then the plot is straight from the Nutcracker, but then again, not really. It's very loosely based on the Nutcracker. Well, not that loosely, it has quite a few of the elements, but it's taken obviously out of the Nutcracker world and put into her own, completely own world, which I didn't think really worked, because there was talks of like rebellion and king, like the king, and there's a rebellion and the king's a dick, and like kind of nothing came of that. It was just like mentioned a few times. There were a lot of elements that felt like they were very important. They just weren't explored enough, that like not enough for one book. Like, she just should not have brought up stuff. It was almost like putting in Easter eggs for the Nutcracker, but then it felt like it should have been explored more or like gone into more detail. You can't just like drop like, oh, and this is, there's like a war, just because there was like the mice and the gingerbread men in Nutcracker had a war. But you can't just drop things in like that and be like, yeah, that's it. Like, that's the only mention I'm gonna make of it. I think I'm gonna read the Christmasaurus tonight. I think that'll be fun. But I am tired right now. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Good Night in Everwood. Sorry.
Poo-poo.
Poo-poo. See you later. Hi everyone, it is our last full day here in the Peak District. It is Monday, the 27th of December. I have finished another book. I have finished Ship of Magic. We were listening to it whilst doing our jigsaws again yesterday, because I just fancied doing something. When I'm away, I feel like I do want to like do things, so I feel kind of anxious like just sitting and reading, because I feel like I want to be doing stuff or going out, but then I realise like it's Christmas break, like I should just be relaxing. We are about to go and explore the little village and find a pub for lunch. But yeah, I finished Ship of Magic. It took me about a month to read it because it was very dense. I didn't actually find it as interesting as the Farseer trilogy. I think I actually do prefer the Farseer trilogy currently, having only read the first book in the Live Ship Traders. I did enjoy a lot of the character work. The character work got a 10 for me on Core Pile, and the intrigue got a 9, so like that really, really pushed up the rating. I ended up with a 4-star. It was more like a, I want to say like a 3.75, like it's really close to a 4 fully for me, but the characters and the intrigue, like I said, really pushed it up a lot. I did find it fairly boring a lot of the time. I didn't feel like there were a lot of plot points, or I felt like it definitely was a set up book. It definitely felt like a lot of the plot points were being set up in this book, and possibly then in Mad Ship they're gonna be kind of going crazy and things are going to go down, because I know that a lot of people's favourite is Mad Ship, which is the second book. So I feel like hopefully there'll be a lot more action in the second one and like some resolution of different plot threads, because I feel like there's like millions and millions of these little threads that have been planted now, like seeds have been planted. So hopefully in the next book a lot of those will start to grow and like I will be a lot more involved in the story. I'm gonna go into a bit of detail now on how I feel about certain characters. I will not be spoiling anything, so don't worry. But if you don't feel like listening to this, feel free to skip this section about Ship of Magic if you have no interest in Ship of Magic or Robin Hobb. to go through all of the characters, at first I liked Althea a lot, and then I kind of went off her a bit in the middle because I felt like she was acting a bit spoilt and like she didn't really know what to do and she was feeling very entitled to things. But as it went on, she started doing hard work and like realizing that she isn't actually ready to be a captain, and like she put in the work basically. So she dipped in the middle, but I liked her again by the end. Brash and I liked the whole time. Winter I did like the whole time. I did like Vivacia, but she was very hit and miss for me in terms of like, I guess she's a very young live ship, so she's kind of just been born, I guess, or just been quickened, so she acted a bit like a child, but then I guess that's what they're meant to do. Kyle, I want him to die. I think that he doesn't deserve life. He doesn't deserve anything. He makes me so angry. I don't know what to do with myself whenever he was in a scene. I would just be so frustrated and so annoyed that he would get his own way and like basically everything he wanted. Kenneth, I really hated at first, and then I started to feel sorry for him, and I feel like he is just very mentally ill and like needs help. Basically Kenneth just needs therapy, but he can be, I think, like he's still a dangerous man and still like makes questionable decisions, but I do think that like he needs help. Like there is something definitely wrong with him, so he just needs a bit of therapy, I think. Kefria needs to grow a spine. She's so fucking annoying. Veronica I did not like at first because of the decisions she made, but then as she realised that the decisions were wrong as the book went on, I really, really liked her. Malta I did not even realise was a thing until like later on in the book. Like I think it's like chapter 18 is called Malta. Might have been 28, I don't know. I think it had an 8 to it. But basically, Pris kept asking me, have you met Malta yet? And I kept being like, no, I don't know who the fuck that is. But you actually do meet her early on. It's just she's not very like prominent at all. And she was very annoying, but I did like really feel for her, like not really her behaviour, because that's just an annoying teenage sullen bitchy like teenage girl like coming into puberty, but I did like understand the want to be a woman. And like it's really hard because she's basically like, it's a bit of a hard topic because there's this like 19-year-old trying to like hit on her and stuff, and she's just like excited about it, but it's like, no, that's fucking gross. And her mum and her grandma are trying to tell her that it's wrong and she's too young, but she doesn't realise, and it's kind of like a sore subject. So I kind of felt sorry for her by the end, and like very understanding of her, as annoyed as I am at her in general because she's just being a little bitch. Like I did understand where she was coming from, and like I understood why she was behaving the way she was. It wasn't an excuse, but I understood why she was acting that way, if that makes sense. Yeah, I think that's about it for Ship of Magic. I can't think of any other characters really. Oh, I did really feel bad for Paragon, and I'm very intrigued to see what him and Amber, like what Amber does with him and stuff. Okay, I've stopped talking about Ship of Magic now. Again, there were no spoilers in that section. It's just you probably won't know what I'm talking about because I'm talking about characters. Today, like I said, we're going to go down to the pub for food now, but I do have a couple of options for reading later. I do have The House with Chicken Legs, which I really, really want to read, and it's quite short, so I feel like I might go for that first. I do also have The Christmasaurus, which my patrons picked for me to read this month because George forgot to give, and he forgot to do it again. Next month also in a vlog I will be reading something from my patrons that they pick. And I do also have Take a Hint Danny Brown, which is on my TBR this month. Nice and floppy. And this is from Meg, 12 books a day, one of my patrons. And this I feel like would also be very quick, even though it's like fairly long-ish, it's like nearly 400 pages, it's still like a very quick romance. I feel like possibly I could read all 3 today if I tried. But I think I'm gonna start with The House of Chicken Legs. Maybe then move on to be fair, the Christmasaurus has so many like huge drawings, so I actually might start with this because I don't want to lose like the Christmas spirit. It's technically after Christmas now. I don't really want to like lose my Christmas like mood, so I think I might read this first, then try House of Chicken Legs, then Danny Brown, depending on how I feel. But I think I'm going to start off with this just to like make myself start it, because I feel like if I just make myself start it, I will just finish it in like 2 hours or something. So yeah, those are my options for today. I have also been filling out a lot of my journal, like end of year journal stuff. I'm filling out my bookshelf. I am doing a flip through of my 2021 journal and a new one next year in a couple of weeks, in January at some point, so you will see it properly then. And yeah, we're about to go out, so I'm gonna take you with me. See you in a bit. Hello, we have gotten back from the Peak District. We drove back really early this morning because checkout was really early at 9 AM, but we decided, or I decided, I wanted to beat traffic. So we left at about, well, we got up about 7 and we ended up leaving about 7:45 after we packed everything away in the car. So when we got back to Birmingham, basically I went to Waterstones and picked up all of my click and collect items that I'd click and collected for the 50% off hardbacks sale. I did this because I'm a little bit wary of the Omicron or Omicron, I don't know what it's called, but the new variant of COVID I'm actually quite wary of, because Jordan and I have actually managed to not catch COVID this whole time, and you know, I'm not about to start fucking around and finding out what it is like. Everybody I know, it feels like, caught COVID over Christmas or had COVID just before Christmas, and then probably still went and saw their families and stuff. Luckily, me and Jord went to the Peak District, so there wasn't any really real risk there. It was just us two. So basically, I was really annoyed at Waterstones doing 50% off in-store only, but luckily they were doing it for 3 days, and today was the last day, the day we were coming back. So I managed to dash in and out super quick because they already had it all behind the counter for me. Paid, got out. Like, I didn't want to be there any longer than possible because I got there super early hoping it would be dead. It was dead, and by that I mean it wasn't busy. And it was the same in Maryhill because it's quite a big shopping centre. I was worried that the shopping centre itself would be quite busy as well, but it wasn't, because I got there about, I want to say, like 9:30, between 9:30 and 10 o'clock. So, oh no, I got back here at 10 o'clock, so it must have been 9:30 that I got there. My anxiety for that is very low. I'm still pleased that I managed to get a lot of books. I do want to point out 3 books that I didn't get in Waterstones though, because these arrived after, oh sorry, no, actually this one I did put in the unboxing. It was just a separate clip. But that was the Soul Eater one. I did put that in the unboxing because it arrived last minute, and that was from Bonnie, I remember. But I did have 2 packages when I got home. The Amazon driver decided to put it inside our bin and then move the bin so that it was underneath the gutter that was dripping on top of the bin when we got home because it was raining. So that was very odd. I'm not sure why he decided to move it. I think he thought he was putting it under shelter, but he ended up putting it under a gutter that was dripping. Maybe it wasn't raining when he dropped it off, but he put them both inside a plastic bag, so the books are okay. If a bit wobbly, they will dry out though, like they're fine. So the first of these is Ink Death. So this one for some reason only came in a nice thing, but it didn't come with the separate little sheet. Usually if they come in like the nice wrapping, they also send you a little envelope that has the card on it, but it's not the card, it's like on just a little bit of paper that they usually come on, like just like this, but it didn't come. So I'm gonna have to take this one off here and put it inside my book so that I remember who it's from. Oh no, I have just ripped through the thing. I can still read it. I will probably write this down on my own paper and put it into the book. But this is Ink Death. This is the 3rd book in the Inkheart trilogy. I don't think it's called anything else, by Cornelia Funk, or Funke. I think I've been saying it wrong my whole life. I think I remember someone telling me it was pronounced differently because she's from the Netherlands, I think, or something, but I'm always gonna say Funk. I am really excited because this is the final one I needed. Everyone has got me all 3 off my wish list, and I really want to do a reread of these and like tab them up and underline things, and plus these new covers are so gorgeous. But this is from Larissa. So Larissa says, very belated Christmas gifts on your doorstep. I hope you like them. I also want to say that I really appreciate your channel and the effort you put into it. Your reading sprints on Patreon are also a lifesaver, from Larissa. So thank you so much, Larissa. Reading that, it makes me think there possibly would have been another one and maybe they missed it out. But I did message Larissa and said thank you for Ink Death, and she said, you're welcome. So I don't think there was another. Hopefully Amazon haven't fucked up somewhere. And the next one I got was The Mask of Mirrors. Now, I've had my eye on this for a while because I think Katie from Brightness Katie Reads, I mention her all the fucking time, she has such good taste, has been talking about this recently, semi-recently. So this is from Marlouse, who is one of my top deities on my Patreon tier, and she said, I wish you a very Merry Christmas and hope you will have an amazing time away with Jordan. I love being part of your Patreon and all that you do for the community, and a little heart emoji from Marlouse at Subtle Bookish. So thank you so much, Marlouse. This, oh God, this is what happens when I get sent loads of books at once. It seems like I don't know what the fuck any of them are about, but I do, I swear. There was a reason I put them on the wish list in the first place. So Ren is a con artist who's come to the sparkling city of Nadezra with one goal: to trick her way into a noble house, securing her fortune and her sister's fortune. But her masquerade is just one of many, and as corrupt nightmare magic begins to weave its way through the city of dreams, the poisonous feuds of its nobility and the shadowy dangers of its impoverished underbelly become tangled with Ren at their heart. Is this sapphic? I don't think it is, but I've heard really good things. It's semi-floppy from Orbit. I feel like the bigger Orbit ones can't really maybe be floppy because of how big they are. But then I swear when I saw it in foils the other day, it was like super floppy, which is why I put it on my wish list. I don't like non-floppy hardbacks most of the time, but if it's like semi, like this isn't too stiff, if that makes sense. It's like an in-between. It's not too bad and I don't mind it. So yeah, thank you Marlouse and thank you Larissa. I did just want to point those out before I got into my Waterstones haul. I would like to request no judgment on this haul because I kind of went a bit overboard. I would like to point out also that I did have a few vouchers slash gift cards used, so I didn't actually spend as much as it seems. In the first place, I have got 4 D&D books from Waterstones. Now this was the reason why I wanted the 50% off hardbacks in the first place, because D&D books, if I hold up the 2 that I have right now, I got The Wild Beyond the Witchlight and the Monster Manual. I did also manage to get the Player's Handbook and the Strixhaven. I can't remember what the full name of the Strixhaven one is. These, full price at Waterstones, you know, recommended retail price online, are 40 to 43, 45 pounds, usually like 42, I want to say. They say 41.99 on the back of these. These are fucking expensive, and it's hard to explain because if people don't know what D&D is, you won't understand kind of like the difference between different books. There are 3 core rule books. The main one is the Player's Handbook, which I got my friend Tyler to get for me. I also got him to get me the Strixhaven book as well, because he was going into Waterstones in central Birmingham, whereas I was going to the one like in Merry Hill. So the Player's Handbook, the Monsters Manual, and the Dungeon Master's Guide, which I've ordered online from Wordery because it was on sale for £25 for Boxing Day. I got these 4, the other 2 with Tyler, for £21. So I kind of still wanted the Dungeon Master's Guide, even though it was £4 more. It actually would cost me more in petrol to get to the nearest Waterstones that had it, rather than just ordering it for 25 quid. And that's still also very cheap. Now, most of the time you can get these on Amazon or somewhere else for maybe 30 quid if you're like lucky. So for me personally, having it for 20 quid, you won't get that price ever again, anywhere, anytime. I looked up, like I literally looked it up on Boxing Day, on Black Friday. I looked up the core rule books. I've looked on Facebook Marketplace. I've looked on eBay. Nobody is selling these books for any less than basically 30 quid at most. So I was highly, highly excited to be able to buy these for 20 quid. And I know a lot of people will say like, oh, you can get PDFs and stuff, but like, look at the artwork. It's just like, I really want to be a dungeon master as well. So like having these there to just flip through, and even just to have on my shelf as well, to have like a D&D shelf, which is what I want to have. This is just perfect for me. I did mention the Monster Manual, the Dungeon Master's Guide, and the Player's Handbook. Those are rule books. Now, the ones like The Wild Beyond the Witchlight and the Strixhaven one that I've got, these are like module books. So I can do an adventure with these. I can run an adventure for people. The Wild Beyond the Witchlight is set in like a fairy realm called the Feywilds. And there's like a circus that has, you know, a bit of a sinister underflow. It adds a couple of races, so it adds like a Harangon, which is like a rabbit race. And in general, I really love fairy folklore and everything like that. So I would really, really like to be able to do this. So like there's like this wonderful castle there. Like, it's just gorgeous. I bloody love fairies, so I may as well get it. Look at this mushroom! Look how happy he is! I should show that to Ashley from Frolic Through Fiction. But yeah, so this one is about fairies and about a circus. Strixhaven is actually a magical university. So if you're paying any attention to what G from Book Roast is doing, she's been doing, instead of doing well, it's still called Magical Readathon, but moving on from Harry Potter, she's created her own magical university. Back in September of 2021, we did the journey there. And I think now in April and August, hopefully, fingers crossed, will be the actual exams starting up again and doing the readathon like that. Strixhaven, the new module, it's literally just come out in December. I really, really want to run a game with this, so I'm going to try and get my friends to do it with me in like sometime later on this year, when I can prep properly for it. But yeah, I'm super excited for it. It's Magical University. It takes you from levels 1 all the way to 20. There's so many different adventures inside it. Apologies if you don't care about D&D or know anything about it. I may do a couple of videos on it. I may keep it exclusive to Patreon. It depends how many people are interested. But yeah, I'm genuinely so fucking excited to maybe DM soon and to just read through these books and like tab them up and see what's happening with it. So now I'm going to move on to my normal hardbacks that I got, which you guys will actually know what I'm talking about. So the first book that I got was Witch Shadow. I hadn't actually picked this up yet, and I much prefer the spines on the UK editions of these. I bought the US hardbacks. I bought like the first 3 in US hardback. I really preferred the fronts, the front covers of those, but the spines were disgusting. The font was awful, and they were like all like, it was like red, green, blue. It was disgusting. So I bought the UK edition of this one, although the US one is purple, so I might just get the US one as well, depending if I like it. But I knew I wanted to get the UK one first because UK hardbacks go out of print so quickly, and I could probably get the US one in like 3 years if I wanted to. But yeah, Witch Shadow is the 4th book in the Witchland series, which I still need to catch up on. Way back when, I gave the first one 3 stars. I feel like I remember it being better than it was, so hopefully upon reread I might enjoy it a bit more. And I just didn't like carry on. I think I just forgot, to be honest. I know that Jade and everyone did Witchlands along recently, and a lot of people hated this book. So I'm very intrigued to see what happens throughout the series, to be honest. Next up, I picked up A Psalm of Storms and Silence. This is the sequel to A Song of Wraiths and Ruin, which I haven't read yet, but this was, oh, that's so weird. It's only got a US and a Canada price on it. Hardbacks like this though tend to be more like $12.99 or something like that in the UK because they're quite small. It may have been $14.99, but I don't know. It was, in America, it was $19. I think that might be like 14 quid, but it might be like 12. I'm not sure. It never is an exact translation anyway. They try and make things a bit more expensive anyway, like with translation. I don't know. Anyway, I know that the first book, I don't really want to read the synopsis of the second one in case it spoils anything. I know that the first book is like enemies to lovers, and it's fantasy. That's all I know. And I feel like I've not heard anyone speak about it or talk about it, so I don't know any reviews on it. So I'm hoping that that will help me not be biased and not have like any influences on my thoughts at all, and I can just enjoy it. I think it's going to be a good time. Next up, I got Cloud Cuckoo Land. This is something different. It's by the same author of All the Light We Cannot See, which I haven't read, but I feel like in the back of my brain I've heard of, and they may have made a movie of it or something. And this is Anthony Doerr, D-O-E-R-R. So basically 3 different like timelines. So they're bound together by a single ancient text. 13-year-old Anna and Omer, an orphaned seamstress and a cursed boy, on opposite sides of the formidable city walls during the 1453 siege of Constantinople. Teenage idealist Seymour and octogenarian Zeno in an attack on a public library in present-day Idaho. And then Constance, decades from now, who turns to the oldest stories to guide her community in peril. So this seems very similar to the actual Star, which came in a Goldsboro, it was like the October book for Goldsboro GSFF. But yeah, 3 different timelines that are very far apart, but like stuff that's binding them together. And again, all of these were half price. So this was 20 quid, so I got it for 10. I don't really know much else. I think I've seen one of my patrons might have read this recently, or someone on Twitter replied to me, I can't quite remember. And they said it was really good. So something new, I guess, for me as well. I don't really know what the main premise is other than that there's 3 different timelines. Next up, Jade is going to be happy. I picked up the Master Artificer. This is the huge motherfucker, which is the sequel to Master of Sorrows, which I don't actually have yet. I don't actually own the hardback of that yet. But the hardback of that's been around for a while, and I feel like it may be around for a while longer, so I'm going to wait until it drops a little bit on Amazon maybe to buy it. But this was 25 quid, got it for £12.50. I know it says £4 off, but you know, like, you get the half price anyway. This is huge. I did actually start to listen to the audiobook of Master of Sorrows, but I got very confused very quickly. I don't think it's quite something I want to listen to on audio. I was interested in what was happening. I think I was just confused by a lot of the names. So I definitely want to try again. I think these covers are really pretty. I really like all of the like doodles around the edges. I just think it's going to be really good, to be honest. I have a really good feeling about these because the main character, I think, is in like a school setting, or at least he is at the beginning, possibly. I think it's like bad guy, like he's prophesied to be the end of the world or something like that. And it sounds right up my street, to be honest. Next up, I'm really actually annoyed because I ordered number 10, number 12, and number 13 of Full Metal Alchemist. I did actually order number 14 as well, but I got a bit overwhelmed at the counter because clearly I ordered a lot of hardbacks and I ordered them at different times. Although I did order 4 of these at the same time. So I don't know if they're still there stuck behind the counter because I forgot to ask about the 4th one, but I managed to get 3 of them because these are fairly expensive. They are £16 brand new in Waterstones, so I got these for 8 quid each, which is fucking incredible, I think, for like such good quality stuff. On Amazon, they can range between £10 and £14 depending on the day, and I usually try and wait till they drop below to like maybe like £9.80 or something. I've seen that very rarely, but it does happen sometimes. Or a lot of the time they stay at like £10.99 or something. So I'm happy to have saved at least 3 quid / getting them now rather than having to wait and you know, the effort of waiting and checking prices and stuff. So yeah, I got 10, 12 and 13. 11 was not available in my local Waterstones. 14 was, but again, either it still sat there behind the shelf or they didn't see it come through, and that was why it wasn't with these 3 as a whole. But yeah, Full Metal Alchemist is one of my favorite animes ever, and I want to collect all of these before like binging all of them for like a vlog or something. I think that would be really fun. 10, 12 and 13, which means right now I'm only missing 11 and 14 that are out. The pre-order is available for 15 and 16 if I remember correctly, and I think there are going to be 20. Either 18 or 20, I don't remember. Next up, I managed to grab the Odyssey. So this is one of the cloth-bound classics from Penguin. I think this is the Penguin ones because I have some Puffin ones. Why have they got 2 different fucking birds that look the fucking same? I don't know. Publishing is crazy. I'm pretty sure those are Puffin though, because they look like puffins when I'm looking at them on the shelf. Because I've got Wizard of Oz, Dracula, Christmas Carol and Frankenstein, which people gifted me for my birthday, but this is a Penguin classic, which a lot of people prefer these ones and love these ones, but I really like how pretty and you know, the foiling on the Puffin ones, but they don't have a lot of them. So I managed to get the Odyssey. I did want the Iliad as well, but it was not available in my local Waterstones. So yeah, I'm starting my little classics collection, which I'm happy with. And I love Greek mythology, so you can't really go wrong. Next up, you should all be unsurprised that I got the anniversary edition of Sabriel. This, actually, I'm not like in love with the cover, but because this is the original artwork, the classic cover, it's something that I kind of wanted to have on my shelf, if that makes sense. I already have like so many of the paperbacks of the series that I thought that I would like to have the anniversary edition of this. And if it's half price, and it was 17 quid, it's gonna be 8 quid. So, you know, it's just like, how can you resist half price of hardbacks? It's crazy. But yeah, I still need to get... I still need to get around to rereading this and reading the new ones. I'm going to do that for vlogs this year. I just got so overwhelmed with exams that I was like going absolutely crazy in November, but thankfully now, hopefully I won't have any till June. I will possibly have resits in March, but I'm not going to think about that till results day. It's just like huge margins on the edges of these pages, which is quite funny. But yeah, I do really want to reread this soon, and I think it's just like a nice addition to my Gothic shelf. Okay, so in total I did manage to get 14 books if you include the 2 that I got my friend Tyler to get me, and the very last book is, I've already unboxed it. Any clues for you guys? It is Lord of the Rings, and it is the special edition. We do have the inscription from the ring on the edges there. This was 60 quid and it is now 30 quid, or was 30 quid. So I managed to get it for £30, which I think is incredible. There was a £120 version, but like I don't like the series that much enough to buy that much of a spend. My friend Ruin, who has the same name as me except an E instead of an O, I lived with him in first year. Whenever a new edition of The Lord of the Rings comes out, I always link it to him and he buys it immediately. Which I think is quite funny because he's not very up to date with like publishing releases. Let's be honest, like a lot of people in our lives aren't, but he fucking loves Lord of the Rings, so whenever a new edition comes out he pretty much buys it straight away, no matter how much it is. If I look at how long the receipt is from Waterstones today, I managed to get 14 stamps today, so I think it was 140 that I spent total today, but I had, yeah, £141.94, but I had a £10 gift card and a £50 gift card, so I only ended up spending £81.94 today. And obviously it would have been 280 quid. It literally says 50% on all of them, so I know she put them through correctly, and I'm just probably going to keep this as a keepsake. Because whenever they're going to do 50% off in store again, I do understand the reasoning behind it. Probably a lot of people did shop online this year as well as last year. They had to be closed last year. So this year, I know bookshops in general have been struggling, especially in person, but I think it is a bit unfair for it to be only in person when like people who have chronic illnesses can't get in and stuff like that, and also with the virus and stuff. This thing is a bit irresponsible, but you know, they're not the only ones who are doing it, so it sucks, but that's capitalism, baby. That's it for this vlog, guys. I really hope you've enjoyed. It's been a bit mismatched, and I've managed to read a good few things. In fact, I did start Take a Hint, Danny Brown. It's over there. I can't be asked to get up and go and get it. I got 100 pages in, and I'm loving it already, hoping that that will be my 100th book now, because Ship of Magic was my 99th. So Take a Hint, Danny Brown hopefully will be my 100th. And I have also started The Two Towers on audio. I'm not too far in yet though. Hoping maybe to finish that before the end of the week. Could happen, could not, who knows. But it is on my TBR for December, so I would like to finish it if possible. And so is Take a Hint, Danny Brown. So I would be really pleased if I would be able to finish both of those. The Atlas 6 is still on my TBR as well. I think that's the last one from my proper TBR, possibly. And I did also want to read The Christmasaurus, and I didn't say this yet in this vlog, but I picked it up yesterday, but it reads way, way younger than I thought it would. I thought it was going to be middle grade, like 8 to 12, like most are in the UK, but it definitely reads more like 3 to 5 years old to me. It's very CBeebies Presenter. It's very like, oh, you smarty pants clever clogs. Dinosaurs are so cool. Which like, I think I'd be okay with if I was in the mood for it, but I was not expecting that when I picked up the book. And like when I was younger, when I was 8 to 12, I was already onto like CBBC, which I guess if anyone didn't watch that, it's probably more like a bit of the older Disney Channel, like Hannah Montana and things, rather than like the Tiny Pop channel, which was like Angelina Ballerina. I'm trying to like get you guys to understand what like the difference is that I'm seeing here. It was just so like in the night garden, like, oh, this is really cool and stuff like that. So like I was just really not in the mood for that at the time. I'm sure it is a lovely book. I just don't really want to pick it up right now, but my patrons did pick it for me to read this month. In fact, I haven't actually checked the poll for that. I thought it won, but if it hasn't, then I will be reading it next year instead. Oh, The Christmasaurus won by 1 vote. Okay, yeah, so I will read it before the end of the week and see what it's like. I kind of don't want to force it because I don't want to give it a low rating and make everyone disappointed in me, but I do want to read it for my patrons and see what I say about it and see if I like it. So as soon as I'm in the mood for something kind of low-key like that and quite like childish, so to speak, I will pick it up, and it should be quite quick as well. So yeah, and maybe I'll read it on sprints with everyone. That might be a better idea. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed. Thank you for watching. If you did enjoy, please do give this video a like down below. Give me a little Christmas tree emoji in the comments if you were here but you didn't really have anything to say but wanted to let me know that you were here. Make sure you subscribe to get all the future content from me in your inbox. Like I've said in the past few videos, lots of new stuff coming in 2022, so you want to keep an eye out for that. All of my links are in the description, including my Patreon. If you don't know what goes on my Patreon, then this is what you're missing out on. Go, run, run, go, go! Do you want to not maybe fuck around whilst we just done it? Speaking of my Patreon, I want to give a huge, huge shout out to everyone at my deity tier, which has grown so much in the past week. Thank you so much to everyone who's on it, and that is Becca, Meg, Rachel, Lisa, Lydia, Mercy, Sarah, Tori, Liv, Adinda, Celeste, Britt, Marloose, Kay, Danny, Hannah, William, Chris, Andy, and Lauren. Thank you guys so much for all of your support, and I'll see you in another video. Bye!